refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome to Zero Sports Talk. I'm Zero Griffey, where all I do here is talk sports. And today I want to take a look at, well, the Eastern Conference Finals, which now has the Cavs versus the Knicks. And first of all, let's talk about how the Cavs got here because, oh man, it was brutal. I would say both teams pretty much had the same energy. I mean, Cavs got off a long series in the first round, and the Pistons got off to a very long series where all they did was face elimination and came back from 3-1 against the Magic. So going into this series, it was gonna be a battle, and I'm gonna be honest, just because of Harden's reputation, I didn't believe in the Cavs, and for that, I'll say I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Um, they proved me wrong. Harden proved me wrong. Rose up to the occasion, especially in the game seven. Feel like I feel like everyone on the Cavs rose to the occasion if you check the score. um, but ultimately the Cavs dominated the Pistons in their own home. I don't know if it just got exhausting for the Pistons. I mean, going from elimination game to elimination game to elimination game, um, constantly in the playoffs at this point. Uh, it seems like they're the number one seed, but they were riding a thin line this whole postseason. And I know Cavs came off a 7-game series against the Raptors, but it kind of felt like the Cavs were going to move on regardless eventually in that series where the Pistons you really didn't know. But enough about the Pistons. I'll let Carl talk about that on the R2L network. Um, I'm gonna focus on the next series, Cavs Knicks. It's it's a good matchup, honestly. Everyone expected someone like the Celtics or um, heck, even Pistons to be here, but not to be. It's Cavs, Knicks. Barely anyone had them. Although at the beginning of the year, Cavs were the favorite in the East, coming out of the East, and that was before Darius Garland. Obviously, they fell in the standings. They fell in people's minds. They made the trade for Harden, and they got bumped back up to being the favorites in the East. And a lot of that came with the criticism of Harden himself in the playoffs. Again, he's answered the bell. Great job by him. But let's talk about a real playoff riser for the Cavs. Jared Allen has been outstanding. He has been dominating, rebounding, scoring. The effort that he's putting out in the playoffs, top notch. He is sometimes outperforming their star players, which most people would say it's Mobley, it's Mitchell. Mitchell had some struggles earlier in the playoffs. And speaking of Mitchell, first time he made it to the conference finals, so congratulations to him. And also, he gets to go home. Mitchell is from New York. He gets to play in Madison Square Garden. Of course, he has to go against the team that is from there. But hey, it must feel good to like at least have probably your friends and family come and watch you at home in a playoff environment. Now, on the Knicks side, Jalen Brunson was interviewed. He said it's go time now. Um, they're ready. They've been resting for like a week. Same thing as the Thunder, I believe. Um, so we'll see if that brings any rust because the Knicks have been steamrolling in the playoffs to the point where people easily put them over everybody else, including myself. They just looked so good. They won 7 straight. They outscored their opponents by almost 200 points to get to this point. That is impressive in itself. Um, Again, meanwhile, the Cavs had to go through 2 Game 7 series. We'll see if they got any like exhaustion because they only get like 1 day break, and that's as I'm recording it, that's today. So they're gonna play tomorrow on Tuesday. So they got a quick turnaround. So we'll see if whichever team comes out a little like slow. We'll see if that because there's an argument about too much rest is a problem or playing too much is a problem. We'll see. These two teams aren't like very old. Their stars are pretty young, still in their prime and all that. So I don't think rest or no rest will affect them that much. Mike Brown, a veteran coach, Kenny Atkinson, a great coach, veteran coach. We'll see who has their team ready for this battle. And originally, I would have picked the Knicks in a runaway because I said in my video about the Spurs and Thunder, whoever the Knicks play in the series, Pistons and Cavs, it's gonna be Knicks all the way. But Cavs have shown something that surprised me, and that's just their effort in the playoffs. Again, I don't need to talk much about him, but Harden's been good. He wasn't good in that last game, so don't mind me saying he has been good in certain games, just not that last game. He was pretty bad. But Donovan Mitchell has woken up again. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley got contributions from the bench. Sam Merrill went off yesterday. I think he had like 23 points. Hit like 5 threes. And then the defense to hold. I mean, the Pistons, you could say, aren't that great offensively because they only have like one star. Jalen Duran has been completely invisible in that series, but they still held Jalen Duran down to the point where he was unplayable. Paul Reed was playing him. You got to give credit to the two big guys, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, Twin Towers down there. It'll be interesting to see how Anthony Towns does because I feel like Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, he can go out there and defend the three just as well as he can defend the paint. He's a really good defender. Jared Allen can stay down low. So that'll be interesting to see driving wise and if they can neutralize Carl Anthony Towns in the series. On the opposite side, again, I talked about in the series with the Knicks and the Sixers. I thought offensively the Sixers' talent was so much better. And one of the biggest weaknesses for the Knicks was Jalen Brunson on defense. I don't even think the Sixers even took advantage of that. If they did, it was probably rare, but like it didn't seem like Jalen Brunson was ever left on an island really with any of their top scorers. The uh, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, and Kelly Oubre. Now it just didn't seem like they attacked Jalen Brunson enough. Now, will Jalen Brunson be defending Donovan Mitchell? Hell no, we know that. But will they switch him on? That could be a game plan for the Cavs. And if he's not on Mitchell, maybe he's on Harden. If he's not on Harden, who do you put him on? Struce, more than likely. But can they take advantage of also Carl Anthony Towns not being a great defender? I feel like he's better in the playoffs. I feel like he's like a little underrated defensively. Like not great. I'm not saying he's great, but a little underrated defensively. I think he picks it up a little more in the playoffs because obviously there's much to play for. The pressure of being a Knick, even though they haven't won in so long. you do get that pressure from the fans, from the media, and all that. So I feel like everybody on the Knicks have really stepped up their game, especially after how last season ended. They were on kind of similar run. They were going crazy. They were being the defending champs, the Celtics. Um, they beat the defending champs, the Celtics, right before Tatum got injured. Then the Pacers just look like the better team overall when they face in the conference finals. Again, Pacers were a lower seed then. Cavs are a lower seed now. Could it be a repeat of what happened last year? Can the Knicks, with this hot run, just run out of gas? That's the only thing that could probably stop the Knicks, but I'll still pick the Knicks in 6 in this series. Um, I should just pick 7 because both teams have played in none but 7-game series so far. So I should just say Knicks in 7. Um, but yeah, let's talk about the other series. I talked about a lot about depth, the Thunder and the Spurs. I don't believe in that much depth in the series. I mean, they got some players off the bench, great, but I think this is going to be a heavily carried game by the Stars. Like how Donovan Mitchell took over against Detroit in the last game to seal it. That's what I expect from both Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell this series. I don't see the bench being much of a factor. I see if one of the stars don't perform, like say it's Mobley, say it's Harden, say it's Carl Anthony Towns, OG Ananobi. I feel like the other team is going to have a massive advantage because the starters are going to play a way more, way more of a role in this series versus the Western Conference series, where I feel like the role players are going to play more of a role. Other than that, let's take a look at what the coaches had to say. So Kenny Atkinson says they're rested, they're juggernaut right now. I mean, it's just what it is. It's hard to blow out teams in the playoffs like they've been blowing out. Point differential means something in this league. And like I mentioned before, that's Kenny Atkinson talking about the Knicks. Their point differential is insane. Let me see if I get to get the exact number. I think it's 194 points, outscoring their opponents in the 7 wins. The Knicks are on one, I'm telling you. Absolutely on one. So there's respect from Kenny Atkinson for he notices it, he sees it. Again, they're rested. Um, some might say that rest could be a detriment because they were so hot in this run, and now you got a whole week to like cool off. So we'll see how the game 1 plays out in that situation. Meanwhile, the Cavs, they went down and just won like 4 in a row. Like they dominated the Pistons, whether it was at home or on the road. And for a bit in that series, no team can win on the road. The Cavs said, screw that. Dominated whether they were home on the road. They will start on the road in this one, obviously, with the Knicks being the higher seed. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. Because again, Cavs will have had that little stretch where they just couldn't win on the road. Now they finally broke through. Madison Square Garden's a different beast. We all know that. It's the Mecca. Everyone wants to play there. Everyone wants to shine there. And if you don't shine there, you usually end up on a meme on social media about your poor performance, especially if you're a star. I mentioned Donovan Mitchell did have his struggles earlier in the playoffs. The Knicks have decent defenders on the wings with OG Ananobi, Mikal Bridges. That's their advantage on defense. While the Cavs, it's more like underneath with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So we'll see if they can contain Donovan Mitchell, if Jalen Brunson can go off, because his matchups will probably be a lot better than Donovan Mitchell's matchups. But again, great series. Looking forward to it. Oh, again, I'm gonna say Knicks in 7 just because it's such a. I didn't expect the Cavs to be looking as good as they do right now. Next thing you know, the first game they just put on a stinker and get blown out by 30, and then I look dumb for saying they look good. But again, I will pick the Knicks. Knicks fans have to be excited, but don't start the parade after game 1. Like, don't do that. Don't go out into the streets if you guys win game one, like you guys won the NBA Finals. Knicks fans are gonna do whatever they want. Who am I to say anything? But that's all I got for today. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to check out all the other shows on the R2L network. We got the R2L show with Joe, Dave, and Tomo. We got Baseball with Teddy. He talks strictly about baseball, everything that's going around in the league. You can check in the red corner with Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. Mostly you're talking about boxing and all that. Dave's Doghouse, the lowlights and highlights of sports. He goes over the highlights and lowlights of all the sports in general. Football with Coach Coombs. He used to talk about strictly about fantasy football, but now he's talking about all the NFL. He is still talking about fantasy. He's just expanding to talk more about the NFL. Carl talking college. That's self-explanatory. It's Carl. He's going to talk about all your college sports, well, mostly NCAA football and basketball, the two hottest college sports. So don't miss that. He's going to give, if you're new to like college sports, he's the guy to go to. He's going to give you all your information. And then Real Ballers Only with Vaughn, strictly talking about ball, strictly talking about the NBA, unlike me, where I just talk about every sport, big events, big moments, breaking news. That's what I talk about. But other than that, thank you all for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.